snap, and Joel gets his number called again. Oh, nice little move to the outside, throws the shoulder into 15, and that is the kind of...
Welcome in, guys, to Heard It Here First, your Central Texas showcase of premier talented teams. And whenever it comes to talented teams, we're going to stop back at who we left y'all with last time in the game of the week, the Granger Lions and head coach Gaston McDormand. The Granger Lions are now 4-1 on this season, 3-0. They won the game of the week, a big win for Granger, 44-0 against Milano, and then took on Iola last week in a 39-19 win, as the Granger Lions stay undefeated in district so far this year. Caleb Holbrox had 23 carries for 202 yards and 4 touchdowns against Iola. That young man had a phenomenal night. Marcus Martinez had a forced fumble, and Wyatt Rockner says he had 8 carries for 67 yards, which is 8.4 yards a carry. Granger's going to be going to Somerville this week, and Somerville's good. They have Granger at a plus 13 this week against Somerville. And so I think it is going to be a good game. I think this is going to be the game for first place in this district. Ian Teague, the quarterback for Somerville, is really good. He has 11 passing touchdowns, 7 rushing touchdowns. And Keith Crawford, the wide receiver, is responsible for 8 of those receiving touchdowns. But whenever it comes to the premier talent part, Granger is full of talent. And one of the young men I would like to highlight is Nicholas Blaine. Nicholas Blaine is the freshman at Granger. The defensive back already has 5 interceptions on the season and one pick six. As you'll see in that video, man, that dude just reads and reacts to the ball, snags it for a pick six, and I mean he's gone. And then not only does he score defensively, he can score offensively, as you'll see in this other highlight we have of him. Dude shakes and bakes. He's on one side of the field. Next thing you know, he's reversing field and getting into the end zone. Phenomenal athlete, just a freshman, doing work for the Granger Lions. And I mean, the Granger Lions are full of talent, and with a great head coach, this is a team that I have going pretty deep in the playoff run. But yeah, they will have to get through Somerville this upcoming week. Nicholas Blaine also, to mention, that's a young man that's not only got a great coaching staff at Granger itself, he also works with Mark Jackson from Taylor, and he's always putting in the work outside of the field from, just the normal routine. And that's what you have to do to be elite, is you have to practice when others aren't practicing. If you practice when everybody's at practice and that's the only time, you're never going to jump anybody or be, better than someone. Let's just say if you were under anyone, you have to put in that work you have to put in the work when no one else is working. Nicholas Blaine jumped on top of that early, and now as a freshman, he's rocking and rolling. 5 interceptions, 5 interceptions, 1 pick six. I apologize. But moving forward, we're going to keep it kind of short this week, or we're trying to keep these videos right at underneath 25 minutes. We're even going to try to shorten it more than that. But we're going to move on to who we had in the game of the week was the Milano Eagles. Milano Eagles are head coached by Nick Moorhead, and they took a tough loss against Granger, 44-0, then turned around, bounced back with a huge win against McDade, 47-0. And Dylan McGee, dude, had a 90-yard touchdown run, hits the outside edge and just takes it yard. And there was even another run he had where he was wrapped up in the backfield. He's able to shake the defender loose and get to the edge, and it was like 14 yards. But the sophomore running back is doing work over there. And not only that, they had a sophomore quarterback in who I talked about last time, Shannon Thurman. He gets in and he does work. You can see this mishap here where he does the I'm going to hand it off, just kidding trick. And he gets to the edge. He's able to improvise on the play. He's able to get some more yards after contact, shake and bake. And so you can see the drive Sherman has. Shiner Thurman has. And not only that, we have another highlight of him. You see him reading the defensive end. He's riding the running back. Then he pops up and throws a dot, plants his feet, and throws a nice strike to looks like it's tight end there. So Shiner Thurman gets his time to shine, and he does so. And Milano with two sophomores leading that offense. Maybe not leading the offense the whole way, but just having them a part of that offense tells you about what Milano's future looks there. They will be at Snook this week with a 12 point plus 12 point game on this. Dave Campbell has them at plus 12. Um, I think this is a really good another tough task for Milano, and I think they have a really good chance of going on a 2 game winning streak, trying to beat Snook, but they have to do it on the road there. Cameron Yeoman get their first win of the season, and it's a huge win against McGregor, 55-27. The Yeoman, and there's 3 teams in this district, I believe, that came in with no wins: McGregor, Cameron, and Little River. And though they had a really tough pre-district, this district is just going to be so tough. And Cameron goes out and puts a good whooping on McGregor, 55-27. You can see here Tim Grice gets a 94-yard rip, man. Dude hits the edge, stumbles, able to gather his feet. And whenever he touches sideline, that's it for him. That dude goes 94 yards for a big touchdown in the McGregor game. Then not only that, Toto Vargas, their wide receiver, who's been phenomenal all year, he gets a screenshot. Dude takes it down the edge, is able to come back across the field and get into the end zone. Toto Vargas is a very lethal weapon for these Cameron Yeoman. And not only that, we got Bubba Lowe pitchback, shedding a defender, fighting for the tough yards, man. You can see this sophomore running back, he always runs, is never afraid of contact. He lowers that shoulder, he fights for the extra yards. And you got another hard runner here, and Hubnick. Cade Hubnick, man, that dude just runs hard, and not only that, he can take it the distance. The dude's had 50+ yard runs this year, and so he's a big dude that can run hard, and he's got wheels on him. So this Cameron Yeoman offense is lethal, as you can tell, as they put up 55 points against McGregor this week. This is a playoff game right off the rip, as they are playing versus Troy. They have Troy at home, which is good. Troy 5-1, 0-1 in district, taking its first loss of the season to Franklin, 56-34. Though it was a pretty convincing win, I think that shows a lot about Troy, and not only the points they can put up against a really good Franklin team, but I mean, they competed. They didn't get blown out. Like they played good. McMurdy, the quarterback's already thrown for 17 touchdowns, and he's rushed for 6. The running back, Lucky, he has 9 touchdowns on the season, and Ketchum, out of McMurdy's 17 passing touchdowns, Ketchum has been responsible for 8. So this Troy Trojans, they are legit. Cameron is legit. This is going to be shoot. What we got so much good football being played this week. This is another one. You got a first place game and Granger and Somerville. I feel you got a playoff implications with Cameron and Troy. I mean, this week 8 is going to be a really really good one. Uh, Rockdale unfortunately takes its first district loss against Little River Academy, who Little River is one of those 0-5 teams that got his first win in district, and they're a really good team. And they did it with 42-35, a tearjerker in Rockdale. Uh, but every game this year we've seen Rockdale play, they just, man, there's so many great highlights on what they're doing over there. Shepard had 11 receptions for 131 yards and a touchdown against Little River. Raiden Hamilton had 11 carries for 59 yards and 3 touchdowns. Right here, you'll see Raiden getting the pitch, making that one cut, lowering the shoulder, and bulldozing into the end zone. That's what you got to do, man. And then a hard nose run by Raiden Hamilton. Brody Willard had 8 tackles in the game. Um, and this highlight here I wanted to show because Williams does a really good job getting the defense to just flow for that split second. And then he checks back across to his tight end Reagan with the soft hands making the snag, getting them down inside the right there at the goal line. And another highlight I like to show you is Jeremiah Butler, this sophomore running back, just he has ran hard all year. You can see here he's just carrying defenders left and right. Dude, dude is a strong running back, and with when you got Jerry and then you got Raiden in the backfield, hot dang man, that's a good combo right there with Shepard. And then as you'll see here, DeAndre Stevens, what he can do anytime that he gets the ball in his hand, he takes a wide receiver screen and takes it. It looks like 40 something yards. So with Williams, you got Shepard, Reagan, Dre, Williams, Braden Hamilton, Butler. This Rockdale offense is awesome. They will go to McGregor. They actually have them at -4. McGregor lost to Grosbeck by 10 points. We lost to Grosbeck by 10 points. I think this is a game just like the Cameron Troy game. This Rockdale McGregor game is a game that's playoff implications. It's going to be like this every single game for this district. As I don't think there won't be no team that won't have a win. Rockdale's very familiar with McGregor's fight and what they'll do and what they can do, and so Rockdale has to come prepared to take on this McGregor team led by quarterback Zacharias, who's already thrown over 1,400 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 4 rushing touchdowns. His wide receiver Madrone has 677 yards and 7 touchdowns. So Rockdale will have their hands full this week as they'll travel over to McGregor, but and they have them -4. But we've also been there where they said Rockdale was -21 to Giddings, and they went over there and kicked some butt. So Rockdale will have to play with a chip on his shoulder all year long, as they had already counted them out in district. They had this team to finish last in district. They didn't even probably have them to win 3 games. Rockdale has already proved the haters wrong. Keep doing so. The Manor Mustangs lose to Stony Point 21-18. Uh, eh, Here's the thing with Manor, and they lost to Westwood 28-16. And some were like, well, those are the 2 worst teams in the district. And I'm like, Stony Point and Westwood, by no means, way, shape, or form are those teams bad in any way. Stony Point, I still believe, can win 4 games in district. Westwood will probably get another win. Um, every team's going to beat up in each other. This team is just like Rockdale's district. Manor's district is the exact same thing with so many tough teams in there. But here's the deal: Manor has to play. All right, if you're in a tug of war and there's 6 people on this side and there's 6 people on this side, and they're all pulling one direction, and then the 6 people on this side are battling each other and they're pulling apart, well, that side's already won. So if there's division and if we're pointing fingers, if we're blaming, if we're fighting, if there's separation on my sideline or on my team, then that team has already won. But we've seen what you can do against Hutto, who I think will honestly probably make it in as the 4th seed in this district. We have seen what Manor is capable of doing. The talent is there. The talent is there, but sometimes there is some push and pull, and y'all got to form together and fight as a unit. If we're all pulling at once, we have a chance to win that tug of war. But if we're over here pulling against each other, that other team's already won. There are mistakes that I've even talked to Camden about, as in not forcing the ball and just playing smart ball. But this is a team that's got a good running back. It's got a great wide receiver core. They have faced some really good defensive fronts. So defensively, offensively. Camden has seen some pressure this year, but he's going to have to learn how to make quick decisions, and that line's going to have to hold their block just a second longer. Y'all got to get together, man. If you dudes battle as 11, as one group, and we're all on the same page, you'll be surprised what you'll do against Vandergrift this week. I honestly believe Manor can upset Vandergrift this week, and I don't think Vandergrift will go through this district unscathed. I think they'll take one loss, and I don't think it'll be Round Rock. I think it'll be a team like Hutto, Stony Point, or even Manor that will beat Vandergrift surprisingly, as if they come in there with a big head. So get it together, Maynard. You got all the talent. You got everything you need. You guys just got to realize that you're a band of brothers and that you got to have each other's back all the time. And if you fight as one and if you battle as one, watch what you can do. We've already seen it against Hutto, so let's not go into this game thinking, oh, we've already lost to the two worst teams in the district. Here's my question to you. Do you believe you should have won those games? Do you believe you could have won those games? I honestly do, and that would make you a 3-1 district team. And do you walk into the game against Vandergrift at 3-1 saying, "Well, we beat the two worst teams," or do we say, "Nah, now we're kicking ass. We're 3-1. Let's play some ball. You got the talent. Don't hang your head. Come out and play some ball this week." The Taylor Ducks are on a 3-game winning streak as head coach Irvin Flowers started the season, and the Taylor Ducks started the season 0-4, but now on a 3-game winning streak. I had predicted Andreas Fisher getting his second 200-yard game this season. I actually did it against Maynard Newtek. I was 2 games too early, as Andreas Fisher this week had 7 carries for 274 yards and 4 touchdowns. Against Rockdale in his sophomore season, he ran over 200 yards and had 5 touchdowns. So I believe he had more. I think it was like 234 against Rockdale. He had more rushing yards, but 1 touchdown short. I think he'll have another game like that this week. We might see Andreas Fisher's third 200-yard rushing game this week, as he's starting to see he's making that one cut, get upfield in the highlights I saw, and that dude is making it happen. And Jamarcus Seawood, the wide receiver, has been really great as of late, and he's been really great this whole time. But he's just these last few games I've kind of watched and seen, he's had some really good breakouts. 2 receptions for 64 yards and 2 touchdowns. I don't have any Taylor highlights. I have a few defensive highlights. If you have any highlights of Taylor, please send them in. I would love to get these boys get them some notifications or shine some light on their play and let Central Texas see them. And last but not least, Del Valle loses a tough one to Lake Travis, 7-56. Bradley Dent catches his 3rd receiving touchdown of the year, catching him on the wheel route for a 75-yard. Mark Antoni delivering a perfect dot to Bradley Dent. And that gentleman now has 6 total touchdowns, 3 receiving, 3 rushing. Mark Antoni has 4 throwing touchdowns on the season. And yeah, what a great play. As well as if you see defensively on this next play, Thompson comes down the line, punches out the ball for the forced fumble. Freddie Thomas, with the alertness, gets on top of it for the fumble recovery. And your Del Valle defense battling in a game against Lake Travis, you'll see who gonna really never stop. And this defensive line, as I had said, is the motor. This is the motor that once it started, it doesn't stop, and it's stuck in 5th gear. It's never in 1st gear. These dudes are rolling the whole time and playing relentless. And in tough games like this, we're going to find out who's going to hold up, who's going to back off whenever the guy's in between on the 3-yard line in the 1st down, who's going to put that shoulder in them, or who's going to let them run in the end zone, who's going to battle all the way to the end. I tell you who we never have to ask that about, and that is Jeremiah Robinson, Thompson, Anthony Thompson, and Freddie Thomas. That front line is just, man, it got a motor like all get out. And last but not least, I want to leave you with these 3 gentlemen. Cannell Hodges in their senior year. Whenever I first started broadcasting, it was Cannell, DD, and JJ. Those are the three sophomore running backs on this roster that I was like, man, I'm going to be able to grow. And as time has flew by, they're seniors. I'm going on my third year of broadcasting. And so I want to shine a light on some of these once sophomores, now senior. As Cannell, you can see he's the bowling ball. That dude barrels down, hardly accepts the first tackler, hardly ever is tackled for a loss. Um, then, as you see here, Donovan Douglas, man, DD, whenever he gets the ball, the dude is just lightning fast. He gets to the edge, and he's just a lightning bolt and super quick. And then, last but not least, JJ Joel Jordan. As you can see, he can do it all. He's shifty, and he'll run with authority. He's like the perfect mix of the two. And then so whenever it went to their junior year, Didi went to slot and wide receiver, and then it was Cannell and JJ. And then now in their senior year, we were introduced to Bradley Dent. We're back to that three-headed running game again, and it's just beautiful how Del Valle is able to always produce these great running backs. And Bradley Dent has shown up. Cannell, JJ, Donovan Douglas, Kevin Meeks when he gets the ball in his hands. These guys, Braden Hayward. The list goes on and on. Del Valle is on a bye week this week. Taylor's on a bye week this week. Next week we will be doing a Battle of the Bell. We'll do the Battle of the Bell game of the week. So now that you have a little heads up of what we'll be bringing you, get ready. We'll have one more week of this, then I'll probably take one more bye week. We'll bring you Del Valle Aikens game of the week, week 11, last game of the regular season, and then get ready for the playoffs. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning.
1,